South Forget Book died in a car accident or the culprit could not be traced. When she tragically followed black and white impermanence to the underworld and waited for reincarnation, she was fooled into a fully pitted underworld live broadcast exposure system. Live exposure, system in hand, I have merit value. Can't find any evidence. Humph, what's hidden in your toilet lid? Expose you. Wow, I actually hid the contract in the big yellow dog's den at the door and exposed him. I forgot to report a famous internet celebrity with my real name on the South Forgotten book. Hurry up and catch him. Wherever the exposure system went, you were exposed with the black material of your math exam score of 30 in 3rd grade elementary school. South Forgetting Book. As long as your merit value is in place, I will expose any color of the boss's pants to you. What if there are too many items that can be exchanged for yangsho that can be exposed and cannot be sold? South Forget Book. Do you get any value for your contributions? Have I'll do it. Who asked for the 18-handed slippers worn by the famous lady by name? 9 yuan and 9 up link. Hurry up and buy them, or I'll stand by your bedside at night. Loyal and loyal, stay tuned for the big yellow dog. It costs 9.95 hours to run to your house. Go to the link. Cold sour Jiong toothpaste that can also be used for sensitive muscles, get 5 out of 5 for 5, and link up for 9 yuan and 9 yuan. If you want to rank first on the leaderboard, just link to this bottle. As long as there is enough merit value, I can sell 18-handed underwear. Novel keywords. Live exposure. I just want merit points. No pop-ups, live broadcast exposure. I just want merit points. Download the complete TXT collection and expose it live. I just want merit points. Latest chapter reading. Chapter 1. Live exposure of top actress. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1 Live exposure of top actress sister, how beautiful. Have you returned to the hotel now after my sister won Southeast Asian Golden Sun TV in one fell swoop? We fans are really lying down and winning. Is this the feeling of being led by the main protagonist to fly? It's so exciting, ah. Lu Bao is so powerful. Lu Bao is so beautiful. Faced with the frenzied barrage of countless fans rolling by on the live broadcast screen, Jiang Qinglu smiled politely. She held the Southeast Asian Golden Sun TV Queen's trophy that she had just won, her face full of joy and pride. She was the only Chinese person to have won this award so far, and what a glorious sight. Looking at the barrage of comments from fans, Jiang Qinglu casually picked a few replies. Yes, I just received my prize and I am currently resting in the international hotel provided by the organizer. I am currently in Chiang Mai, and I have come to this place many times and I am quite familiar with it. The next part of the play is a completely different character, so everyone can fill their expectations. Really? Really? That's great, Lu Bao. I hope to shoot it quickly. How can I live without your drama? With the sharp increase in the number of fans in the live broadcast room, various expensive gifts such as sports cars and carnivals have filled the screen on the public screen. Jiang Qinglu smiled brightly with a stunning face, and she waved her hands to dissuade. Oh, don't give me gifts. You can keep the money to buy some delicious food to show respect to your parents or go out to play. I have money, and with your support, it's enough. Her eyes flickered brightly. But these fanatical fans couldn't see through the things they had smashed into their sister's eyes with money and time, just still frantically brushing gifts and searching for words of praise. As the number of people in the live broadcast room continues to increase, the barrage of praises inevitably intersperses with many unpleasant voices. Look at your smug demeanor, you know how the golden sun came from behind. T-sister 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 T-sister, T-sister has been shamefully thrown abroad. I guess you slept with 5 judges, otherwise how could Golden Sun TV give you a chance? Which of the other nominated actors is better than you? That's right, that's right. Tea sister. Water sister. Rub sister. Watching these disharmonious voices appear, fans in the live broadcast room immediately launched a crazy counterattack. Little Heisey is smelling again. I know you're in a hurry, but don't worry for now. With this skill in black do treasure, it's better to worry about how your main boss will climb up from the mess. Please, this is the Golden Sun Award in Southeast Asia. Before Heisey hey, let's see if his master has a chance to cross the country in his next life. Little Heisey, who lives in all corners of the world, whoever comes into black and out whose main leader has penetrated the earth's surface. Do Heisey know where Chiang Mai is? Have he ever been abroad? It's okay, don't bother with these people, let's continue chatting. Jiang Qinglu comforted the excited fans and gave a glance to the assistant on the sofa. The assistant understood and immediately kicked out everyone who scolded her in the live broadcast room. South Forget Book and Wang Luoxin. Oh no, when the two ghosts brought the system to Jiang Qinglu's room, they were just seeing this scene. Today is the first time that Nan Shishu has come out to earn merit points after joining the Yin sect. She couldn't help but feel a bit nervous. The group leader next to her, Wang Luoxin, glanced at her and smiled, saying, "Don't be nervous. You just need to keep thinking about what they did, it's not your business. You're only responsible for exposing and changing merit points. Think about your reincarnation identity. Their other group has an employee who relies on a happy life in their next life to earn merit every day. They work very hard, hitting one person in an average exposure task and going crazy with pay every day." South Forget Book was successfully amused, and the tension in her heart was relieved with this smile. She nodded and walked towards Jiang Qinglu in the encouraging eyes of Wang Luoxin. As they approached, there were some changes in the live broadcast room before Jiang Qing appeared. Her phone screen flickered, and all the gifts, tips, and leaderboards in the live broadcast room were gone, leaving only a full screen of bullet comments scrolling non-stop. Jiang Qinglu thought something was wrong with her phone. She put down the trophy in her hand and turned to ask her assistant to come and take a look. However, after turning her head, the assistant didn't see it. Instead, she saw the sudden appearance of Nan Shishu and others dressed in black. Jiang Qinglu was stunned for a moment before shouting, "Who are you? How did you get into my room, assistant? What did you do? Why did you put these strangers in my room?" Jiang Qinglu, Wang Luoxin ignored Jiang Qinglu's words and only lowered her head to open the control system program. Then, she raised her eyebrows at Nan Forget Book beside her. Nan Forget Book walked over to Jiang Qinglu's live streaming phone and implanted a glowing small sequin into her phone. In an instant, a sudden appearance of a live streaming portrait opened up in both the yin and yang realms. "What are you doing?" Jiang Qinglu stood up from her chair and pointed at Nan Shishu and the two of them, cursing angrily. "You guys are crazy. Get out of here quickly. If you don't go out again, I'll call the police." "Sister, what's going on? Did anyone come in?" "Someone came in. Who are these two people wearing black clothes? Look at these people dressed in uniform. Are they from the organizer's side or from the hotel? No matter who they are, they can't just break into the female artist's room like this," and judging from Lu Bao's reaction, it seems that she doesn't even know these people. The fans in the live broadcast room noticed something was wrong and began to question and express their opinions. Jiang Qinglu, on the other hand, ran away in 3 or 2 steps from the eyes of Nan Forget Book and the other person, hoping to seek help from her assistant. However, when she ran to the sofa where her assistant was staying, she only saw that the assistant had fallen asleep at some point. "Get up, you're dead. You're sleeping at this moment." Jiang Qinglu pushed several sleeping assistants, but they didn't react at all. She also reacted quickly. When she saw that her assistant couldn't rely on her, she ran back to the live broadcast camera and asked for help from the fans in the live broadcast room. "Fans, there are a few crazy people running in my room. I don't know who they are. What do you think I should do?" As she spoke, she rolled her eyes as if she was calculating something in those shrewd eyes. Sister, what's the name of the hotel you're staying at? We'll call the front desk for you. Sister, do you want to report to the police? Let's help you report to the police secretly first. No way. Jiang Qinglu glanced at the two people standing coldly looking at her and said in a low voice, I'm the only one in this room now. If I report to the police, it will anger them. What if they jump over the wall and do anything extreme to me then? As she spoke, Jiang Qinglu glanced at the rapidly growing popularity of the live broadcast room, and suddenly had an idea in her heart. These two suddenly appearing people currently seem to have no special malice towards her. Why not use this gimmick opportunity to hype up another wave of popularity? At that time, she will show a calm, intelligent, and strong appearance, and attract a wave of good relationships, which can also withstand a wave of darkness. So she continued, fans, don't act recklessly for now. Let's see what these people are up to. If that's not possible, you can help me report to the police. Okay. Sister, be careful. Sister, we have been here all along. Don't be afraid. End of this chapter. Chapter 2. Female celebrities exposed for tax evasion. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2. Female celebrities exposed for tax evasion. Wang Luoxin looked at Jiang Qinglu's movements and saw through her abacus at a glance. She only smiled faintly and then opened her phone to retrieve the information inside, saying, Jiang Qinglu, 28 years old, is a newly rising female top performer in the entertainment industry, a national idol, and a shining star. However, Wang Luoxin paused and said, as a superstar with a fan base of over 100 million, you have a comprehensive income of over 300 million in a year, including film and television production, variety show recording, advertising endorsements, and commercial performances. It can be said that you are very wealthy. Do you admit to tax evasion? What nonsense! Are you just evading taxes? Jiang Qinglu's emotions were suddenly tense due to the stimulation of Wang Luoxin's second half of the sentence. She almost instinctively denied it, and her retorted words were all broken. When it reached the ears of the people in the live broadcast room, it was like a drop of water splashing into a hot oil pot, boiling up in an instant. What? Tax evasion? I'm a bit skeptical. Why did they suddenly expose such a thing? Could it be a prank? Watching Lu Bao take the golden sun and his eyes turn red, he wants to splash dirty water. I think it's very likely. I don't believe that Lu Bao would evade taxes either. At this moment, the barrage was like exploding, but it was mostly to protect her. Jiang Qinglu confidently raised her chin and said to Wang Luoxin, who the hell are you? Why are you going crazy with me and accusing me of tax evasion? Where is the evidence? If there is no evidence, it's nonsense. I can sue you for defamation. The barrage echoes. That's it, tell them, Wang Luoxin sneered, the evidence is on you, we are here to find it. Jiang Qinglu. Are you guys funny? I still have evidence in my hands. Where? You guys find it. It's very simple. Since you've paid taxes, there must be a tax payment record. Can you provide us with your tax payment record? Said Nan Shishu, who had been silent for a long time. I have tax records, right? I have them. Jiang Qinglu didn't panic at all. She took out another phone and quickly swiped something, then held up the screen of the phone in front of Nan Forget's writing and loudly said, see clearly, what is this? Every tax record I have is on it. After speaking, she didn't forget to show the content of her phone screen to the fans in the live broadcast room, and those fans watched, and their support grew even stronger. See, our Lu Bao has every tax payment record. Dare to say that I have evidence. That woman looks like she's pulling herself to death. She must have slapped me in the face. Which Blackie sent this iron evidence is like a mountain. My sister wouldn't be the kind of person who evades taxes and harms national interests. Sister Xin, the tax payment app on her phone does indeed clearly record every tax payment she makes, Nan Shirshu whispered as she turned her head to look at Wang Luoxin. Don't be blinded by the fake thing in front of you. Wang Luoxin took 2 steps and gestured to Nan Shirshu not to be in a hurry. Seeing these two people not speaking, Jiang Qinglu felt quite proud and said, "Why didn't you speak? Didn't you say there was evidence? Take it out. I'll give you 1 minute to get out of my room, otherwise if I report to the police, you might not have the chance to stand in front of me." After speaking, Jiang Qinglu didn't forget to take a look at the popularity of the live broadcast room. Due to this sudden change, the popularity of the live broadcast room had already reached the top of the list, and even the popular search, Jiang Qinglu, a female artist with a genuine meow red background, bought by fans made headlines. "Sister, how domineering, who knows, Lu Bao just spoke like a domineering female CEO." Faced with Jiang Qinglu's threat to report to the police, Wang Luoxin remained unresponsive. After Jiang Qinglu finished speaking, she slowly said, "Don't worry, evidence, you know where it is." She gave a glance to Nan Shirshu, who nodded knowingly and said, "Do you dare us to search your room?" Upon hearing this, Jiang Qinglu's expression suddenly became unnatural for a moment, but quickly returned to normal. She said nonchalantly, "Search for it, it's best you can find it. Otherwise, the charges of breaking into a room, slandering, and unauthorized transfer of my personal belongings without a search warrant will be enough to keep you in prison for a few years." South Forget Book has always been a mouth-watering person. She glanced at Jiang Qinglu and said, "Please let me eat national food for a few years." Then she strode towards the room. Jiang Qinglu looked at the figure of Nan Forget Book entering the house to search, snorted from her nose, and thought to herself, "If I could really find it for you, I wouldn't believe Jiang. Search, let them search. Our bodies are not afraid of shadows tilting. That is, a straight body is not afraid of a slanted shadow. Lu Bao, don't be afraid. We have recorded all of their actions. We have evidence to arrest them, and then we will see who disguised them underground." When Nan Shirshu's figure passed by the live broadcast screen, the people in the live broadcast room started discussing with her. "By the way, this woman's speech is also easy to tug at. Let her pull it. See how long she can pull it. Illegitimate food. But to be honest, this woman looks pretty, she's really beautiful. I can't believe she has such a good appearance to do anything wrong with being an internet celebrity. She doesn't make more money than this. That's right, when this woman doesn't speak, she feels like a person. When she speaks, she becomes extremely angry. I don't know how to make good use of her good appearance." These barrage comments aimed at her were unknown to Nan Forget Book. She walked into Jiang Qinglu's bedroom and without saying a word, began searching for the bedside table, mattress, bed bottom, wardrobe. From the kitchen, living room, bathroom to the 2 bedrooms, she carefully searched every possible hiding place, but did not find anything related to Jiang Qinglu's tax issues. After a while, Nan Shirshu walked out of the room and met Wang Luoxin's gaze, shaking his head. Jiang Qinglu watched her reaction and breathed a sigh of relief in secret. With a relaxed and meaningless expression on her eyebrows and eyes, she loudly said, "Found it." South Forget Book glanced at her without answering. Jiang Qinglu continued, "That's just not found. Since you haven't found it, why are you still stuck here? Get out of here. I can't find anything, there's no evidence, dare to search. These people are not pretending to be illegitimate, are they? It's really like what you said, using this identity to get close to Lu Bao and deliberately fabricating these rumors to get close to touching Lu Bao's personal belongings. So scary. So disgusting. Get out of here." Wang Luoxin leaned against the wall with both hands in her arms. Seeing that Nan Forget Book had not gained anything, she said, "Since that's the case, let's activate the system. Forget Book, I've taught you before, come on." South Forget Book nodded, lowered his head and opened his phone to enter the exposure system. He found the corresponding button for one-click exposure under the Jiang Qinglu incident and pressed it. With a beep, the system prompts the sound to sound, and circles of blue light emanate from Nan Forget Book's phone, surrounding the entire room. Jiang Qinglu looked at this suddenly strange scene and immediately became nervous. What are you doing? What is this? System. What system? What kind of nonsense is that woman who's pulling herself to death talking about? What was that circle of blue things just now? I also saw it, it's amazing. End of this chapter. How much do you need for chapter 3? My female celebrity bribed you all. You are listening at novelfull.audio. How much do you need for chapter 3? My female celebrity bribed you all. South Forget Book's eyes closely followed the light waves. About half a minute later, a somewhat urgent prompt sound of DDD sounded in the room. South Forget Book looked over and saw that the place where the prompt sound was made was the assistant on the sofa who had been knocked unconscious by them. The laptop on the screen she was holding was surrounded and bound by the aperture. I found it, Nan forgot with a malicious smile. Wang Luoxin curled up her lips and gave a meaningful smile. She stood up straight and walked towards the laptop in the tense eyes of Jiang Qinglu. Don't move. Jiang Qinglu's voice suddenly sounded so nervous and panicked that she couldn't hide it. She took 2 steps forward and said nervously, My laptop is my personal property, and you have no right to move. What are you nervous about? Didn't you just say that if we search, it would be best if we could find something? Nan Shishu stood in front of Jiang Qing, holding her hands and asking with a smile. Jiang Qinglu's eyes flickered as she swallowed a few mouthfuls of saliva and said, That's right, but you haven't found anything. You've already used the opportunity one gave you. I don't allow you to move this notebook. Just now we searched and missed this notebook. Now we're filling in this gap. You're not afraid of shadows, so what if you give us a few more opportunities? Wang Luoxin ignored her and walked up to take the laptop from the sleeping assistant's hand. Under the system's instructions, she opened a hidden folder full of financial statements, invoice receipts, and contract books from Jiang Qinglu's studio. These things are all in duplicate, one is the true accounting situation, and the other is a fake account for the tax bureau and outsiders to see. Jiang Qinglu stared intently at Wang Luoxin's manipulation of her laptop, not daring to slack off for a second. She prayed in her heart that Wang Luoxin would never notice anything. Over 100,000 people in the live broadcast room also watched together, believing in this big star and leaving messages supporting him. Lu Bao, show them and make them give up. Just look, our Lu Bao body is not afraid of shadows tilting. I am ready to call the police. When they finish watching, I will call the police immediately. I'm also preparing to call the police. This matter has already topped the hot search list. Not afraid of Lu Bao. How could Jiang Qinglu be afraid? Her wealth secrets are all on this computer. If Wang Luoxin finds anything, she will be completely destroyed. Jiang Qinglu stared closely at Wang Luoxin's face, realizing that something was wrong with her face, which was illuminated by the light on the computer screen. She panicked and immediately rushed to grab the notebook. Wang Luoxin was already prepared, and just a second before her hand reached out, she dodged on her side. Meanwhile, Nan Forget Book stood up and stopped Jiang Qinglu in time. What are you doing? Since you're not afraid of shadows tilting, let's wait until we finish checking the computer. Jiang Qinglu glared fiercely at Nan Forget Book, her delicate peach blossom eyes full of malice. Seeing that she couldn't grab the laptop, she hesitated for a second before changing direction and rushing to the live broadcast screen to turn off the live broadcast. She guessed that Wang Luoxin had already seen those things, and this must not be seen by these people in the live broadcast room. Jiang Qinglu was so flustered that she frantically pressed the button to close the live broadcast. However, the live broadcast room, which had been tampered with by Nan Forget Book, could not be closed no matter what. The fans in the live broadcast room looked at Jiang Qinglu's sudden lack of composure and were somewhat worried. Lu Bao, what's wrong with you? Why is Lu Bao suddenly so nervous? Did they do something to you? I'm reporting to the police now, don't report to the police yet. Jiang Qinglu almost shouted out this sentence. If these people really report to the police and hand over the things in their computers, it will be completely over. She tried to calm the fans who were clamoring to report to the police with her rationality and said, they haven't done anything to me yet. I promised them that if they don't report to the police, they can ignore this matter. I'm going to negotiate and mediate with them now. Okay, Lu Bao should pay attention to safety, we will always be here, I warn you crazy people. If Lu Bao damages a single hair, after tonight, I will go on the news and you will go down with your household registration. South Forget Book. At the moment she saw these bullet comments, she was very skeptical of the minds of these fans. Jiang Qinglu stood up in front of her live streaming phone, took a few deep breaths to calm her emotions, and approached Nan Forget in a hoarse voice before writing, asking, tell me, how much do you want? We don't want any money, Nan Shishu raised his eyebrows and said, don't want money. Humph, Jiang Qinglu snorted coldly and gritted her teeth, don't want money. What do you want? Just put forward the conditions, and I will definitely do what I can do. Don't think you have seen anything in the computer. Wang Luoxin glanced at her and said, what we want is merit value. Can you give it to us? Jiang Qinglu said urgently, what is the merit value? You say, I'll give it. Here, then let's expose you. As long as we expose you, we can earn merit points. Don't talk to me about how much this matter will affect you. The specific impact should be judged by the country. My task is to obtain the merit points I want. Wang Luoxin then turned the laptop screen in her hand, and the ironclad evidence on the computer that relates to Jiang Qinglu's future was displayed in front of her. Jiang Qinglu stared fixedly at the computer screen, her face turning green and white. The fluorescence emitted by the screen projected onto her delicate yet resentful makeup, appearing particularly eerie and ferocious. South Forget Book didn't give Jiang Qinglu a chance to struggle. He walked up to the live streaming phone in 3 or 2 steps and pointed the evidence of Jiang Qinglu's studio using Yin.Yang account books and contracts to evade taxes on the computer screen in front of the camera. Jiang Qinglu watched helplessly as Nan forgot the book's movements, wanting to step forward to stop it, but unfortunately, her hands and feet were controlled by Wang Luoxin's iron pliers, unable to move at all. As soon as evidence appeared, the barrage in the live broadcast room froze for a moment, but then exploded like a volcanic eruption. This is the Yin-Yang contract ledger. It's fake, why don't I believe it so much? That's right, even though I couldn't find anything just now, why did I come up with this thing now? I believe in Lu Bao. Just now, Lu Bao provided tax payment records, which are records on the national app that cannot be fake. However, editing files and documents casually is not enough, it cannot be taken as real. With the high popularity of the live broadcast room, in addition to fans, other passers-by fans and black fans have also flooded in, and different voices appear in the barrage. This thing was obtained from assistant Jiang Qinglu's computer. It's really very likely. Okay, can fans use their brains to think about it? In my opinion, this is more like a script. Maybe these people were all hired by Jiang Qinglu to hype up another wave with the popularity of winning awards. Attached by my side. I also think there is a greater possibility of hyping up the script, I don't think it's a script. The news of Jiang Qinglu's tax evasion is not the first time there have been rumors. Someone has already exposed it before. Tax evasion sister. Get out of the entertainment industry, end of this chapter. Chapter 4. The Big Black Material of Top Actress. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4. The Big Black Material of Top Actress. The barrage scrolled very quickly. Although Jiang Qinglu didn't see it very clearly, she also saw that the voices supporting her and believing in her were the majority. So she turned her mind and shouted loudly, you crazy people, holding a file that doesn't know what it is, start slandering me. Everyone's eyes are bright. I don't even know what's going on with these things. Exactly. This thing must be fake. It must be fabricated to slander Lu Bao. Wang Luoxin had already guessed that Jiang Qinglu would bite to death and say that this thing was fake, so she walked to the computer and thoughtfully flipped through the yin-yang contracts to the last page, revealing Jiang Qinglu's handwritten signature, studio seal, and her red handprint at the signature on the last page. Wait, what is this? Handwritten signature, red handprint, and studio seal. Fake, don't believe it. Is it possible to have a fake studio seal? I just went to see that the signature is in Jiang Qinglu's handwriting, and the studio seal is also there. This may be true with the appearance of these three ironclad proofs that can hardly be fake. The barrage began to loosen a bit, and the voices of questioning, confirmation, and exclamation began to impact the fans' maintenance and clarification. Fake, this thing can also be forged. Please keep your eyes open and don't believe it. Believe in Lu Bao, believe it or not, didn't you all see that this file was found on the assistant's computer? And just now, Jiang Qinglu was still looking as if she was not afraid of shadows tilting. After the woman started using the computer, she began to panic. Oh my god, this can't be true, can it? Damn it, it's trending. The entry, Jiang Qinglu suspected of tax evasion, climbed to the top of the hot search after the explosion of the live broadcast room. South Forgotten Book seized this opportunity and loudly asked, "This hidden file was found on your assistant's computer, which is your studio's office computer. Will there be any counterfeit content inside? And the signatures and seals on these contract ledgers are all yours. Where do you think we can go to get this thing out? And how can we forge so many files on your work computer in just 10 minutes?" Jiang Qinglu was speechless, unable to answer. Her chest was heaving, revealing her nervousness and fear at the moment. "If you dare to come and frame me, you must be prepared. That's right. If you dare to come knocking on your door and provoke, then you must be prepared." "I don't think so." Psychologically, if a person is subjected to great slander, their first reaction is confusion, followed by anger. You see, Jiang Qinglu is clearly more panicked and nervous now. I also feel that her reaction is a bit too flustered. Psychologically speaking. Who are you? Psychologists, no problem with Lu Bao. At this moment, the wind direction of the barrage in the live broadcast room was basically flat. Nan Shishu's eyes twitched and he had a plan in mind. He said softly, "I see that everyone in the live broadcast room has a lot of questions and speculations. Why don't we call the police? They have professional detection technology and can definitely tell us the authenticity of these document signatures and official seals. How about that?" Jiang Qinglu. "We can't call the police," Jiang Qinglu said almost subconsciously. "Why can't we report it to the police? We, the people you accuse of framing and slandering, are not afraid of it." "What are you afraid of?" said Nanjieshu Xingyan with a narrow eye. "Yeah, what is Jiang Qinglu afraid of? It can be determined whether the alarm is true or false. Why does Jiang Qinglu dare not report to the police? Lu Bao is not afraid of them, just call the police. We'll see who went in when we saw it. Don't be foolish, brainless fans. Do you dare to report Jiang Qinglu? Her attitude makes me seriously doubt the truth of what these people are saying. I work in IT, and I have carefully reviewed this document. The possibility of forgery is very low. Oh my god. That can't be true, can it? Jiang Qinglu won't really evade taxes, will she? Impossible. Lu Bao doesn't know. South Forget Book watched as the barrage gradually gained the upper hand in the live broadcast room, and curled his lips with a sinister smile. "Big Star, how are you? Do you need us to help you report to the police?" Jiang Qinglu. "Do not report to the police. I am currently overseas, and if you report to the domestic police and they cannot find me here, it will only cause trouble for the public security work. You are overseas, but your studio is in China. After reporting to the police, it's the same to check your studio first and then check you again. Moreover, your activity has ended and you will return to your home country tomorrow afternoon. It won't affect you, Nan Shirshu said relentlessly, yeah. Since there's no ghost in my heart, just call the police. What is Jiang Qinglu afraid of? She didn't dare to report to the police, but instead confirmed her guilt. I didn't believe it at first, but Jiang Qinglu's attitude made me believe it. Me too, she's really suspicious. Don't worry, Wang Luoxin raised her hand to stop Nan Shirshu's malicious threats. She took 2 steps closer to Jiang Qinglu, who was as pale as earth, and gestured for Nan Shirshu to turn on the system. She said calmly, the matter is not yet resolved. Since we need to report it to the police, let's wait for the remaining 2 matters to be resolved before reporting them together. After that, she raised her eyes and blinked at Nan Shirshu. Exposure increased by 300 merit points have been obtained. Is there anything else? Jiang Qinglu needs to report to the police. Oh my god, I have a bad feeling. In the barrage at this moment, the powerless maintenance of fans has been suppressed below, and the sound of those watching the play squeezing the voices of protection out of sight. South Forgotten Book. A year and a half ago, you relied on the rumor of tying up a CP with the newly crowned actor Qin Zhou to hype up a relationship. In an instant, you went from being a hot topic to a big one. After hyping up for a period of time, Qin Zhou had the idea of getting to know and tie up a CP with his new drama number 1. You didn't want the heat you had so hard won to dissipate. In order to keep Qin Zhou, you had a bad memory and launched the studio to buy dozens of marketing accounts to spread rumors and slander about Qin Zhou's new drama number 1, sleeping fans, making insulting comments, and manually liking other people's black materials. By posting your own praise notices, you also trampled on the other person and tarnished their reputation, making them worse off. Qin Zhou dispels the idea of hyping up CP with her and continues to be tied to you. Do you admit this? As soon as these words were spoken, it felt like a thunderbolt struck the minds of over 100,000 people in the live broadcast room, and the barrage erupted twice in an instant. What did she say? Intentionally marketing other female celebrities' black press releases. She's crazy, she's going to harm other female celebrities just to become famous. It's really disgusting. It's really fake. I have become popular again through hot searches. Do you believe it? Everyone, I'm a bit convinced. Me too. That's my CP. Qin Zhou side dish gone. It was all deliberately stir-fried. What are you talking nonsense about? You dare to slander me for not being able to evade taxes enough. Jiang Qing's face turned red when she realized it later. She reached out and forcefully pushed Nan Forget Book, causing him to stumble twice and his face to turn black in an instant. She held on to Jiang Qinglu's hand, which she wanted to push again, with a fierce expression on her face. She tightened it tightly and said, "Are you furious? Do you want to take action? Are you bringing out the evidence for this matter yourself, or are we looking for it? Your ugly incident has already been exposed, and you should have guessed that we have the means to expose your cover-up. If you know the truth, you'll expose it yourself. Also, if you dare to touch me again, I'll smash your face." End of this chapter. Chapter 5. Surprise. Top-notch actresses actually raise little ghosts. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. Surprise. Top-notch actresses actually raise little ghosts. Damn it. Did you see that Jiang Qinglu was just about to hit someone? How could she feel like a dog jumping over a wall in a hurry? I instantly believed in her story. Me too. Find evidence. Find evidence. Beat her to death. I've been looking down on her for a long time. I never expected she to be this kind of person. The barrage review has started to be one-sided, and even the fans can no longer see their support and clarification. At this moment, Jiang Qinglu seemed to be standing on a tall tower the size of a needle, and a slight gust of wind could blow her down from the towering top, shattering her to pieces. She glared at Nan Shirshu with resentment in her eyes, unable to utter the arrogant words of, "Whatever you check, just now." Wang Luoxin saw that she was not speaking and said, "Since you are not speaking, I will assume that you agree with me." Let's start searching and forget the book. Go ahead. South Forget Book nodded and turned back to Jiang Qinglu's bedroom. This time, she did not return empty-handed. She found a password box the size of a makeup box in Jiang Qinglu's large suitcase. She picked up the box and shook it, hearing a crisp collision sound inside. Nan forgot that the thing they were looking for should be inside, so he picked up the box. At the moment Jiang Qinglu saw this box, her pupils suddenly dilated, and a sense of shock and fear overflowed from her eyes. Sister Xin, this is a password box. Nan forgot to bring the box to Wang Luoxin and gestured for her to open it with the system. Wang Luoxin nodded. Nan forgot the order for the book, lowered her head, opened the exposure system on her phone, found the one-click defense braking button, and pressed it. In an instant, a light blue halo once again emanated from the phone, enveloping the password box. There were only 2 faint beeps, and a click came from the lock of the password box. Nan Shishu reached out and gently broke it, and the password lock opened. She took off the password lock and was about to open the box when a figure suddenly rushed over from her side. In the corner of her eyes, Nan forgot to catch a glimpse of her subconscious and lifted the box open. Jiang Qinglu's hands followed closely and brushed past the place where the box had just been placed. Without success, Jiang Qinglu still wanted to come and grab it, but was tightly grabbed by Wang Luoxin beside her. She struggled desperately, twisted and roared, "Damn bitch! Who allowed you to move my box? Give it back to me and don't move." Nan Shishu said, "Aren't you not afraid of shadows tilting when you're upright? What if I move? What are you feeling guilty about? What do you mind if I feel guilty about? Put down the box and don't move it. What rights and qualifications do you have to move my personal belongings? Damn you, stinky bitch." Jiang Qinglu's current state is like the one-click defense button in the system, completely breaking the defense, and even using foul language. Is Jiang Qinglu crazy? A celebrity would curse such unpleasant words. You see, she has completely broken through her defense like this. I completely believe what these 2 people are saying now. She definitely has a ghost. There must be a ghost. She definitely did these things. The barrage really showed me what it means to be pushed down by everyone. Just now, there was still a sound of maintenance, and now I believe those words. That's it. Anyway, I have always believed in Lu Bao. These are all fabricated slanders, can't you tell them all? Since it's a framing, why is Jiang Qinglu feeling guilty? When the barrage in the live broadcast room started to argue, the 3 entries, Jiang Qinglu Qin Zhou, Jiang Qinglu La Trample, and Jiang Qinglu's upcoming film and television works, followed closely with Jiang Qinglu suspected of tax evasion and waited for hot searches. The popularity exceeded 1 billion in the blink of an eye, and the hot search server instantly crashed. South Forget Book ignored Jiang Qinglu's scolding and only brought the box to the live broadcast camera. He opened it in front of over 200,000 people in the live broadcast room and took out a few phones inside. After turning on the phone, Nan forgot to unlock it all using the system, and then searched through them one by one. Several WeChat accounts were found on each phone's WeChat software, and the chat records were all about these WeChat accounts and those marketing accounts contacting and negotiating to send notices to blackmail the female celebrity. In order to prevent anyone from claiming that they fabricated evidence again, after showing off their phones, Nan Forget Book thoughtfully flipped out the chat records of each small account and marketing account on each phone and shared them in the live broadcast room, saying, "I have earned my credit again. The live broadcast room has exploded again. I'm on my side, real hammer." Jiang Qinglu really resorted to this method. She's done. She must be done. Iron evidence is like a mountain, my family. It really shocks me. Jiang Qinglu, with her usual gentle and dignified demeanor, surprisingly managed to drive out such disgusting things from behind. Oh my goodness, I just became a fan of her. People are pink in the morning, but houses collapse at night. This woman is so disgusting. Get out of the entertainment industry. The programmer of the hot search server just rushed to repair the server, and the entry, Jiang Qinglu Studio buys marketing account once again overwhelmed the server. At this moment, there is no more word of maintenance in the live broadcast room, and most of the fans are cursing and disappointed. Jiang Qinglu was completely speechless. She stopped struggling and stood still, her eyes flickering as she looked at the shining golden sun trophy on the table. It was an honor she had finally earned, and now it was ruined. Disgruntled, angry, and resentful intertwined, making Jiang Qinglu's eyes red with blood. She stared at the two uninvited guests in the room who had destroyed everything for her, and suddenly acted. She took a kettle from the table and rushed towards Nan Forget Book, cursing. "It's all you guys, it's all you guys, you ruined me, you ruined me. Go to hell." Of course, her intention to beat was blocked by Wang Luoxin. South Forget Book turned around and looked into Jiang Qinglu's eyes through Wang Luoxin's cover, seizing the critical point where her rationality and spirit were on the brink of collapse. She said, "You want to beat me? Beating me and cursing me can't change the outrageous facts you've done. Do you think this is over? I still want to expose your child raising in Thailand. If the explosion of tax evasion and blacklisting just now was like water droplets splashing into a boiling oil pot, then now this little kid is like an oil pot falling into a volcano that is about to erupt, producing a devastating explosion in an instant." The live broadcast room froze for a moment, then exploded instantly. What? What, raising a little ghost? Jiang Qinglu, how dare you? This is no longer the level of illegal crime. Jiang Qinglu is going to end up alone. Oh my goodness, is Jiang Qinglu so outrageous? Oh my goodness, I blew it up. I blew it up. Thinking carefully is extremely frightening. Along with the live broadcast, there were also hot searches. The entry, Jiang Qinglu raises little ghosts, instantly exploded the just stabilized hot search server, and at the same time, this entry also made it to the trending hot search in Thailand. Jiang Qinglu described her madness as pointing at Nan Shishu and cursing, "You fart, I didn't. I didn't raise a little ghost. You wronged me. I wronged you." Wang Luoxin took her words and asked in reverse, "Why do you have to come to Chiang Mai every 2 months if you don't have a ghost? What is your wrist like?" As she spoke, Wang Luoxin grabbed Jiang Qinglu's wrist and pulled her hand to display a tattoo on the inside of her wrist on the live broadcast camera. That is a tattoo of a child's head that is only the size of a thumb cap and appears dark purple. It is said to be a tattoo, but closer up, it looks more like it is coming out from under the skin. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. Shocking. The wall is full of money. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. Shocking. The wall is full of money. With this tattoo, the live broadcast room exploded even further. I rely on me, I rely on me, I recognize this, this is the symbol on the person who raises the little ghost. I rely on the truth. This sisters is really playing. I'll just say this sister is inexplicably popular. Those actors who don't deal with her have no good ending. That's right, fans still boast about the heavenly descendant Violet Star, so these are all obtained by raising little ghosts. Disgusting ghost Jiang Qinglu, get out of the entertainment industry. Get out of the entertainment industry. Jiang Qinglu, get out of the entertainment industry, you scumbags. Why do you want to harm me? Why do you want to harm me? Why do you want to expose these things? Jiang Qinglu completely collapsed, and she waved her hands to open Wang Luoxin, her face twisted and twisted to the point where she couldn't see her original beauty. But it's not enough, Nan forgot to think to himself, there's still one more fire and strong evidence left. South Forget Book. As far as I know, people who raise little ghosts will always carry their true body with them, first to ensure the strongest effect, but to constantly guard against backlash. So I guess the evidence about you raising little ghosts should be in your room. Forget the book, there's no need to talk nonsense to her. Let's just use the system. Her affairs have basically been exposed, like a dead fish on a chopping board, with no room for refutation or defense. Wang Luoxin looked at the time and said. Okay. Nan Forget Book nodded, took out his phone from the underworld, opened the exposure system, and pressed the one-click search button. In an instant, circles of familiar light blue waves emanated from Nan Forget Book's phone and spread throughout the room. Wherever the light waves went, all objects in the room were covered with a layer of light. Dee-dee, 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 3 crisp sounds echoed by Jiang Qinglu's bed. Nan Shishu followed the sound and found something covered in a red cloth filled with spells in the dark cabinet under the 2-meter-wide bed. She took it out and placed it in front of the live broadcast camera, then lifted the red cloth. In an instant, a urn with an unknown spell written on it was exposed in front of hundreds of thousands of netizens. Damn it! The urn! No offense. No offense. No offense, help, the villa has collapsed into ruins. This is too explosive for me, Ghost Sister, get out of the entertainment industry, Ghost Sister, get out of the entertainment industry. Jiang Qinglu was already numb, and she stared at everything numbly without moving. Wang Luoxin waved her finger before her eyes and said, raising a little ghost is a taboo of feudal superstition. In modern socialist society, you still play this trick. Jiang Qinglu, you used this little ghost to take the life and financial fortune of another female celebrity, Bai Ji. Guess what the official anti-cult organization will do with you? Wait, Bai Ji. Does this mean that Jiang Qinglu used the little ghost she raised to steal Bai Ji's star path? Is that what it means? Jiang Qinglu remained standing still without any reaction, and after a long time, she said in a daze, I can't understand what you're saying. Don't you understand? Nan Shishu turned the urn around and turned the side with Bai Ji's name and birth date written on it to face Jiang Qinglu. So why is there Bai Ji's name on the jar where you raise a little ghost? You clearly used this little ghost to seize Bai Ji's star path. Otherwise, with your rotten destiny that has reached the 18th line, how could you have reached your current position? Nonsense. This is what I deserve. Bai Ji has a plastic surgery face, how can she compare to me? She is only worthy of acting as an 18th-tier scumbag in a bad drama. Jiang Qinglu's emotions were instantly ignited by Nan Forget Book's intentional words. She didn't notice that she had fallen into Nan Forget Book's trap, and her expression went crazy, revealing herself. Bai Ji, that slut, full of technology, dares to come out of the small countryside and compete with me. Bah! There isn't any little ghost in my jar, it's the god I begged for from Thailand. Thanks to this god, I can snatch back what belongs to me from Bai Ji. Bai Ji doesn't deserve to have these. Ha ha ha, mine is mine. What if I just cheat on taxes? What if I buy fake articles to spread rumors? What if I raise kids? Ah! As long as I can be popular and have money, I can't do anything. You people, Jiang Qinglu pointed at Nan Forget Book and the others like a madman, you won't earn everything I have now in your lifetimes. Is Jiang Qinglu admitting to her own path of raising a little ghost and taking over the goddess Bai Ji? I'll just say, Bai Ji is developing well and vigorously. Why did she suddenly engage in some confusing behavior like taking away the house and ruining her future? It turns out that it's all the work of Jiang Qinglu. Jiang Qinglu's move. She actually exposed herself. She admitted to tax evasion and other things. Oh my goodness, Jiang Qinglu, get out of the entertainment industry, disgusting. Bug. Surprisingly, it became popular in this way. Not only is the method disgusting, but it also harmed the goddess Bai Ji. I swear this is even more shocking than fish riding bicycles. Jiang Qinglu, how can you treat me well? I just bought your magazine, call a certain center, quickly grab this person and step on the sewing machine. It seems that I will be taking the college entrance examination paper printed by Jiang Qinglu next year. The sewing machine team has added another member. The names, Bai Ji and Jiang Qinglu, have become hot topics among netizens across the country, and at this time, the ranking of server popularity can be seen at a glance, all of which have been contracted by Jiang Qinglu. Jiang Qinglu had already self-destructed, and it was time for the end. Wang Luoxin lifted her phone to check the time, only to find a red dot flashing on the exposure system. She clicked on it and her face suddenly changed. The system shows that we still have one thing that has not been exposed. Also. What is it? Upon hearing this, Nan Shushu walked up to Wang Luoxin and leaned over to look. Jiang Qinglu hid her property in a self-built house in her hometown to evade taxes. Wang Luoxin, you put away the system and raised your eyebrows in the direction of Jiang Qinglu, saying, let's work, there's still one last thing left. Nan Shushu nodded knowingly and found the house where Jiang Qinglu was hiding his belongings on his own system. He then waved his hand and opened a secret door, and the two of them escorted Jiang Qinglu through the door to reach her lair. The live broadcast shot flashed, and the scene suddenly followed Nan Shushu and the others to a two-story small Western-style building located in Jiang Qinglu's old hometown. Where is this? Why did I suddenly change places when I just blinked? Sleeping slot, me too. This house appeared before when Jiang Qinglu was recording a program. It seems like she was repairing a small villa in her hometown. I rely on teleportation. What is this for? South Forget Book glanced at the barrage that filled the screen, then pressed the one-click exposure button on his phone. In an instant, a larger and wider blue aperture emanated, followed by the sound of DDD throughout the entire house. The dripping sound kept pressing the three of them into the house like a landslide. South Forgotten Book was shocked, which meant that the entire house was filled with Jiang Qinglu's belongings. And even more astonishingly, she followed the instructions of the exposure system to the place where the beep sound came from and pressed the button to remove it. In an instant, all the lint on the walls of this two-story villa fell off, revealing that it was covered with gold bars and RMB on several walls. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. A lot of money. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7. A lot of money. The live broadcast room froze for a moment. I don't know how many times it exploded. Is this the real name of someone? I rely on a lot of money, a lot of money, a lot of money, a lot of money. Why not deposit so much money into the bank and seal it in the house? So much money has to be deposited into the bank to pay taxes. Our Lu Bao is a tax evader. Not only did netizens explode, but Nan Forget Book also exploded. She looked at the walls full of gold bars and Chinese yuan and stuttered, Mom, I've been a human for so many years, a ghost for so many years, and I've never seen so much money. Wang Luoxin stepped forward and gave her a smile, saying, look at how you've never seen the world before, and what else? She spoke, clapped her hands, and walked into the master bedroom, which was over 70 square meters long. She opened a secret door and saw that inside it were all glass cabinets several people tall, all of which were expensive and luxurious items. Bags, jewelry, shoes, all of which are expensive enough to buy a house. I am already numb from head to toe. Even if there are dinosaurs hidden in Jiang Qinglu's house now, I don't think it's strange anymore. Are celebrities making money like this? How many people can't fight for luxury goods in this wall for several lifetimes? It's really time for the country to rectify the chaos in the entertainment industry. How long has Jiang Qinglu been so popular? He already has so much wealth. Jiang Qinglu, have you forgotten how you were bullied and looked down upon when you were not popular in the past? Have you forgotten how difficult it was for you to go this way? Why have you become the person you hate the most now? Have you forgotten all the promises you've made before? Why don't you cherish this hard-won success? The barrage in the live broadcast room, in addition to the scolding from the audience, gradually added the disappointment of those long-time fans who cried blood. This is the end of the matter, and we don't want to hide it from you. Jiang Qinglu, did you think about your parents who were still working in the fields in your hometown in their 60s when you became famous? Didn't you even think about giving your parents a good life with the money from this house? Jiang Qinglu underwent plastic surgery and changed her name. Her parents in her hometown didn't even know that the big star on TV was her daughter. The elderly couple were afraid that you would be wronged outside and saved money for you, but you, the big star, didn't give them a penny. Looking at these dazzling bullet comments, Nan Shirshu's heart tightened. She opened the system and checked Jiang Qinglu's family. After a moment, she sneered and said, "Jiang Qinglu, your parents are almost 70 years old and still working in the field for 3 meals a day. After you became famous and earned money, you never paid them a penny. The house you built in the countryside was also built to hide your wealth. Your parents have never seen such a big house in their lifetime, have they? You scolded Bai Ji for coming from the countryside. Aren't you also from the countryside? Aren't you also from a poor life?" Jiang Qinglu stood still, her chest heaving violently without saying a word. And this wall full of luxury goods didn't count. Wang Luoxin clapped her hands again. As soon as the live broadcast screen turned, they had already arrived at the underground parking lot of this villa. They stood at the entrance of the parking lot and looking around, all they could see were luxury cars. Luxury cars are parked all over the underground parking lot, with no available space. In this scene, the entry, Jiang Qinglu's belongings, quickly exploded in hot searches, and the server crashed again. At this moment, Jiang Qinglu knew that she had finished playing, completely finished playing. She slipped off the shackles of Zhao Kefen and fell to the ground, her heavily makeup-covered face turning pale and losing its color. Wang Luoxin is an elderly person who has exposed this industry through live streaming. She has a clear reaction to Jiang Qinglu's behavior, and she doesn't say much nonsense. She only raised her finger to the luxury cars in the parking lot and asked, "Are these cars all yours?" Jiang Qinglu was stunned and didn't answer. Wang Luoxin said directly to Nan Shirshu, "Tie all these things in place, and the rest is the official business." Nan Shirshu nodded and said, "Yes, Sister Xian." After finishing speaking, she lowered her head and opened the one-click clearing function of the exposure system. In the blink of an eye, all the belongings in the entire small Western-style building were bound and sealed in place by the blue halo emitted by the system, waiting for the public department to investigate. After completing these tasks, the two of them were considered complete. With the operation of the exposure system, everything Jiang Qinglu did was exposed to the public. The efficiency of the strongest exposure system really deserves its reputation. After the exposure was completed and the system shut down, the two of them, Nan Shirshu and Jiang Qinglu, returned to the hotel room and casually threw Jiang Qinglu, who was as stiff as a chicken, onto the ground before lifting his feet and leaving. As soon as they left, the police officer who received a report from a netizen on the internet called them on the door. Looking at the room behind him, which was about to be completely covered by the black mist, and listening to the increasingly blurry noise coming from inside, Nan Forget Book sighed and shook his head. "When I was not dead before, I quite liked Jiang Qinglu, and even chased her for a while. Who knew that she had done so many bad things behind her back?" Wang Luoxin smiled faintly and opened the door to the underworld, saying, "In this profession, you come into contact with these unexpected people and things. Just get used to them. However, you performed very well today, much better than Zhao Kefen, another kid in our group who is responsible for the system back-end, when he first performed the task. You didn't even know that before you arrived, there were only me and him in the group. He was scared and ran around on the first task." "Really?" Nan Shirshu asked jokingly, recalling the sunny, handsome, and somewhat silly appearance of Zhao Kefen, who had only seen him once before. He thought he was someone who could do such a thing. "Of course it's true." Wang Luoxin reached out and grabbed Nan Forget Book's shoulder. "I'll tell you slowly later. Did you have a deep understanding of the purpose of our live broadcast exposure department during your first mission?" Nan Shirshu nodded and said, "Understanding, everything is for merit value." Wang Luoxin nodded with satisfaction and said, "Correct. We're not just some kind of justice envoy, we just need to do a systematic arrangement of exposure events. How does the system determine which people need to be exposed?" Wang Luoxin said, randomly select those people who have done bad deeds but have hidden them well and are not easily discovered, and then randomly assign these people to different groups. Since the reward is merit, then it is definitely necessary to do something with merit. During their conversation, the two of them had already passed through the gates of hell in the endless sea and returned to the office of the Underworld Live Exposure System Department. I'm back, you've exposed a big shot this time. The hot search in both the world and the underworld has reached the top. When someone from another group greeted Wang Luoxin, she smiled and shook her head, saying, "Where did your group get as big as last time they exposed it? I'm just a celebrity, and you're a lucky and conscientious entrepreneur." When Zhao Kefen saw these two people coming back, he quickly got up and welcomed them, saying, "Sister Xin, forget your book. You two have come back." Nan Shishu said, "I'm back." Zhao Kefen raised his hand and patted Nan Changshu on the shoulder. "You did a good job on the first task. I think you look like an old fogey like that." "I thank you for praising me," Nan Shishu said. Without words of praise, the three of them went to the warehouse where live streaming was selling goods. Wang Luoxin removed the Yang Shou deducted by Jiang Qinglu from the system and replaced it with the latest list of things that the government wanted to rank in the top 50. She said, "It's useless for the government to bring so many Yang Shou." So she decided to start a live streaming sales, set up a list of the most wanted items in the government, and exchange the items on the Yang Shou list for a lot of money. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. What? Working and being eaten by the boss. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8. What? Working and being eaten by the boss. You guys are no different from the mortal world, aren't you? Nan Shishu curiously peeked at the live broadcast room outside the warehouse door and exclaimed, setting aside the mountains of corpses and blood in the underworld, the top 10 Yanluo halls and the darkness that cannot be seen in the sky, there are mobile phones, computers, internet, and even live streaming sales here. What is the difference between them and those in the mortal world? That's for sure, the mortal world is making progress, and we can't leave the mortal world behind, Zhao Kefen replied, counting the things he had copied back. Wang Luoxin walked up to Nan Forget Book and patted her shoulder, saying, "Go out and take a look." Nan Shishu was really curious. She followed Wang Luoxin to the live broadcast room, where two people, a man and a woman, were responsible for the live broadcast. Each of them held a pair of shoes in their hands and said, "Well, 3 months ago in the live broadcast room, she wanted to buy the second-ranked Assassin brand sports shoes. The original price was 998 yuan, but now it only costs 888 yuan. The link has already been uploaded, so if you want to shoot, hurry up and shoot." Wang Luoxin bent down and glanced at the number of people in the live broadcast room. "Oh no, he asked the girl in front of him, "we just changed a lot of things again. When will we buy them here?" "It's been a while, Sister Xin. Look at the backlog in the warehouse. The items we exchanged for Yangshou in the past 2 months haven't been sold out yet, and everyone's consumption enthusiasm is not high at all." "Why not high? Is there no money?" asked Nan Forget Book. "They are not short of money. The family above them burned tens of millions or billions of yen banknotes at once, maybe because they felt too bored or the things they sold were not very interesting." The girl sighed and said, "If this continues, my merits will be worth earning for a long time." Wang Luoxin also sighed, and then her phone rang a few beeps. She looked down and raised her eyebrows, saying, "The system reward has been received. Let's go and forget the book." "Oh," Nan Shishu nodded and followed her to the warehouse. When Zhao Kefen finished his work, Wang Luoxin looked at her phone and read the reward. In this task, the system rated the performance of forgetting books as good. As a newcomer, 2 stars were awarded, and the merit value was assessed as 1,000. Zhao Kefen's back-end stable system was good, and he was rewarded with 1 star, with a merit value of 1,000. As the team leader, I also brought rewards for newcomers, so the merit value star level is higher than yours. Let's take a look at our own system. Has the merit value been reached? South Forget Book lowered his head and opened his system. On the main interface of the system, next to his avatar, the merit value had already been displayed as 1000. Received the account, but XING, what does the star level next to this merit value mean? This star rating is automatically evaluated by the system based on your performance on each task. A total of 5 stars can earn you 1-inch 3 Good Employee Award, and department personnel who receive 3 Good Employee Awards every month can participate in promotion seminars to strive for promotion opportunities. Wang Luoxin explained. Promotion. Nan Shishu became interested and quickly asked, where are you going to be promoted? The team leader, and then the department head will move up from here. Can the merit and star rating earned after promotion increase? Of course. Wang Luoxin looked at Nan Forget Book with excitement. I couldn't help but laugh and say, however, most people don't want to go up after being promoted to the position of minister. One reason is that they have earned enough merit to reincarnate, but because they dare not be promoted, which has caused the promotion to stagnate. As a 100-star employee, I am still struggling in the position of team leader, but I think it's good, so I also don't want to be promoted in a daze. Nan Shishu didn't understand. Is there anyone else who doesn't want to get promoted? Why not get promoted? Zhao Kefan. Because our big boss is not human. Nan Shishu glanced at Zhao Kefan like a fool and said. We are ghosts from the underworld now, and everyone is a ghost. That big boss must not be a human. Oh, that's not what I meant. Zhao Kefan patted his leg in a hurry, pulled Nan Shishu closer to him, and asked Wang Luoxin if he could speak. When he saw Wang Luoxin nod, he lowered his voice. What I mean by big boss is not personal. He is the owner of the 10 Directions Yenluo Hall, and also the leader of the entire underworld. He makes a living by sucking on ghosts, which is like us. Years ago, many ghosts were promoted to work by his side, but soon disappeared. Ah! Eating ghosts. Nan Shishu almost screamed out in fear. This. The capitalists in the mortal world are just exploiting and squeezing people's wages. Why do the capitalists in the mortal world still eat ghosts? When you are a person, you should be afraid of the wicked capitalists deducting your salary, and if you become a ghost, you should worry about being eaten by the boss in one breath. Oh my God, even if you work, you still have to face a ghost fate. What kind of world is this? A few days ago, she was still crying and complaining that she had to work when she was a human, and even after becoming a ghost, she had to work. She was born to suffer for the hardships of working. Now, not only do you have to work, but you may also become a burden to your boss. This is no longer a hard life, it's a terrible life. The days of working ghosts are also too difficult. Zhao Kefan was greatly frightened when he saw Nan Shishu, and then added, this big boss always wears a mask that even ghosts fear. No one has ever seen his true face, but there are rumors that he looks very terrifying, with pus and scars all over his face, and he even emits a foul odor. These words seeped into Nan Forget Book's mind one by one, making her feel goosebumps all over her body. Cold sweat trickled out of her spine, causing her pupils to tremble. Seeing that Nan Shishu was frightened like this, Wang Luoxin walked over in time and bounced Zhao Kefan away. Shishu has just arrived, don't make this sound so scary, let's go. Wang Luoxin pulled Nan Shishu's wrist and led her outside. Zhao Kefan shouted from behind, Sister Xin, are you too double-standard? When I first arrived, you scared me like that. How could you be so gentle with Shishu? We finally had such a well-behaved little girl in our group, of course we should treat her gently. Wang Luoxin gave Zhao Kefan a cold eye and walked straight out. After regaining his senses, Nan Shishu tightened Wang Luoxin's black sleeve and asked nervously, Sister Xin, is what Zhao Kefan said true? It's true, but don't be too afraid. The big boss doesn't usually appear in front of us, and we employees don't see him on both sides. After all, we all work for him, and he won't swallow us for no reason, will he? That's fine, Nan Shu breathed a sigh of relief, but not much. The two of them walked out of the warehouse and passed by the unpopular live broadcast room. Nan Shu suddenly remembered the day when he joined the live broadcast exposure department. The person in charge of EAN said that the items exchanged for Yang Shou, which were deducted from exposure, would be counted as performance commissions and added to our merit value after the auction. He asked, Sister Xin, if we help sell the items we exchanged for Yang Shou, would our merit value be even higher? Wang Luoxin nodded and said, in principle, yes, but none of us have ever done live streaming sales, so we haven't tried it. What's wrong? Do you have any ideas? I have a little idea. After all, Nan Zhuoshu was a surfer before he died. She has seen a lot of various live broadcast methods on the internet in the past 2 years. She was wondering if it would be better if these methods were used here. Wang Luoxin said, if you have ideas, you can give them a try, and if you can sell what others have exchanged together, your merit value will be even higher. End of this chapter. Didn't you say in chapter 9 that the boss doesn't come often? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Didn't you say in chapter 9 that the boss doesn't come often? After careful consideration, Nansha Shuzi calculated how much difference the merit value required for her desired reincarnation status was from what she had accumulated now. Well, not much, it's just 800,000 yuan. In order to leave the underworld early and embark on a happy afterlife, Nan Forget Book did not hesitate too much and nodded heavily, I want to try that. Before he could finish speaking, a few eerie swona sounds suddenly came from the dark underworld. The sudden and mournful swona sound gradually approached from far to near. Nan Forget Book felt strange and wanted to ask Wang Luoxin what was going on. Before he could say anything, Zhao Kefen, who was chasing after her, suddenly knelt down with Wang Luoxin. Wang Luoxin lowered her voice and nervously reminded, kneel down, don't look up. Lord Yenluo from the 10 halls is here. 10 Hall Yenluo Lord. That big boss who eats ghosts. Nan Shu quickly knelt down and glared at Wang Luoxin, saying, isn't it true that this big boss rarely appears in front of us on a regular basis? What happened when I first came? Wang Luoxin blushed and awkwardly twitched her lips. A mistake. The sound of the swona was playing closer and closer, and a cold and gloomy wind blew from the sea of corpses and blood, carrying a bloody aura that penetrated into the collar of Nan Shu's clothes, making her shiver uncontrollably. Bang, bang, bang. The heavy footsteps sounded beside her, as if a group of people were walking in unison with a muffled sound. The chilly wind brushed over her head, and Nan Shu felt that the ghostly boss had already walked in front of her. Her mind rang with Wang Luoxin's admonitions, but curiosity stirred up like a cat's paw, causing her to feel uncomfortable. She wanted to look up at what the Yen Luo Lord looked like, but was also afraid. In her heart, she tugged, and Nan forgot to slowly lift her head, carefully looking up above her head. What caught the eye was a pure black demon mask, with exaggerated and ferocious facial features that revealed a wicked aura. The owner of the mask is extremely tall and slender, walking silently. The moment that passed by seemed particularly long under the gaze of Nan Forget Book, so long that time seemed to be frozen in time. Even though a few seconds had passed, it seemed like centuries had passed. This feeling was strange, and in a daze, there was a sense of destiny-like control attacking her heart, squeezing her heart and beating slowly and bluntly. The sound of her heartbeat passed through her chest, vibrating her eardrums, covering all the sounds around her. The owner of the mask seemed to feel something, slowly twisting his neck. The demon mask tilted slightly towards Nan Shu, and a cold gaze pierced through the mask, firmly nailing it to Nan Shu's body. The sudden feeling of being stared at made Nan Forget Book shiver in her heart. She trembled all over and wanted to lower her head, but her head seemed to be stuck in place and couldn't move. Fortunately, Zhao Kefen, who was beside her, noticed her in time and quickly reached out her hand behind her to press her head down. They didn't dare to stand up until the Swona sound completely disappeared. Zhao Kefen patted his chest in shock and said, "Forget the book, you don't want to be reincarnated anymore. It's a warning to you that you can't look at me." Surprisingly, you even raised your head to look at the boss. Fortunately, I reacted quickly, otherwise if the boss saw me, it would be ruined. Nan Shirshu wanted to explain, but she didn't know what was going on. She remembered that she was still tugging at curiosity, as if an inexplicable force had suddenly controlled her head. "Alright, it's okay. Remember next time, the boss is passing by and you can't just read it casually." Wang Luoxin didn't take it seriously, just let Nan forget the book. "Curious, didn't you say you wanted to try the live broadcast? Go take a look and discuss your ideas with us." South Forget Book nodded and then returned to the live broadcast room outside the warehouse. Before leaving, she followed the direction where the boss had just left and saw a trail of white smoke disappear at the end of the dim path. In the live broadcast room, the two people in charge of the live broadcast were at a loss of energy. When Nan Forget Book and Wang Luoxin arrived again, they were holding a table with one hand and dozing off with leather shoes. Wang Luoxin walked behind the girl and patted her shoulder, saying, "Xiaowen." The girl named Xiaowen turned around in a daze and said, "What's wrong, Sister Xian?" Wang Luoxin leaned down and placed her hands on the shoulders of Xiaowen and the boy named Lin Lin. "Our new group member, Forget Book, has some ideas about this live broadcast. I think you two are also tired. Should we let her try her ideas?" "Sure." Lin Lin immediately stood up from the chair without saying a word and pulled Nan Forget Book to sit down. "I'm so tired that I can't sell things. What these old ghosts say is so tricky." "That's it." Xiaowen also stood up from the chair and asked Wang Luoxin to sit down. "Look, the popularity of this live broadcast room is not low, but no one is buying anything." South Forget Book looked in the direction of Xiaowen's finger and indeed saw that the number of people in the live broadcast room had remained around 5,000, with high popularity. However, it may be because there was only one live broadcast room in the entire prefecture, and those bored old ghosts had nowhere else to look, so they could only gather here. Watching a new face change in front of the live broadcast camera, the barrage drifted more, and most of them were comments like this. "Oh, here comes a newcomer, this newcomer looks so silly. Hey." Nan Shirshu looked at the two barrage comments that said she was stupid, speechless for a moment. "You guys are so stupid, your whole family is so stupid. His temper is quite bad. Still a little chili pepper. Uncle likes your temper." Looking at these rebellious and cunning bullet comments, Nan Forget Book instantly understood why Xiaowen and his team were so lazy about their work, but thinking about the high merit commission, she decided to face the challenge. South Forget Book reached out and slid down the little chili pepper barrage that had just drifted by, answering, "I guess this person who called me little chili pepper should have just died, right?" "How do you know?" "I don't know why, because I just died too. I definitely know this fresh meme you brought down from above. Ha ha ha. Although you guessed it right, don't think that if you approach me like this, I will buy something unless you give me a reason to buy these shoes. Give you 3 minutes to persuade me to buy this pair of shoes. I'll give you 5 minutes, you convince me to buy another pair." Nan Shirshu was so angry that he said, "You guys are so serious. It's best for me to stand guard with my left and right eyes while sleeping, otherwise I'll swing these shoes to give warmth to your community sooner or later. Also, aren't these things voted for on the leaderboard by yourselves? Why don't you buy them? Hey, it's just for fun. This anchor's speech is interesting. Ha ha ha, brother, come knocking at me with your shoes. My head iron will strike me first. The anchor is so fun, usually he must be a happy nut." End of this chapter. Chapter 10. Shoot the light in the live room and listen to my revenge opportunity. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10. Shoot the light in the live room and listen to my revenge opportunity. This latest barrage seems quite normal, and Nan Forget Book quickly took advantage of it. His eyes twitched and he pretended to sigh, "Hey, what kind of pistachios?" It's just a forced smile to comfort himself. "I'm not as happy as you seem." "What's going on? Is there anything sad about the anchor?" "Saying it makes us happy, don't say that, this is someone else's sad thing, it can't be used as a joke." "It's okay, anyway we're all so bored." "If you speak up, we'll get rid of you." South Forgotten Book pouted, his eyes lowered, and the corners of his mouth turned down, making a pitiful and aggrieved expression. "Actually, I was originally the only daughter of a wealthy family before I passed away. After marrying my husband and having a child, my life was originally very good. But unexpectedly, my best friend betrayed me. She robbed my husband, my son, my property, and even kicked me out of the house. She even caused me a tragic death. Buy these 2 pairs of shoes and listen to my revenge plan. I think it's too much to rely on this, I bought it. Tell me quickly how you're going to prepare for revenge. I also bought it. If anyone needs to know, I can help at any time." The live broadcast room was filled with a surge of enthusiasm for purchasing due to the tragic story of Nan Forget Book, and these 2 pairs of shoes that had been linked all day were instantly filmed. "I have already bought the shoes. Tell me quickly how you plan to seek revenge, I also want to hear it. Is the anchor enough? If it's not enough, I'll buy something else. We'll buy everything you need to sell today, and you can talk to us the rest of the time." "Okay." Nan Forget Book quickly gave a glance to Xiao Wen and Lin Lin on the side, seizing the opportunity. The 2 of them quickly ran to the warehouse to remove all the squeezed things, and Nan Forget Book took them out one by one. "This is a pair of sunglasses that accidentally dropped one lens. Although it's not very useful for you to buy them back, it's still okay to wear them or cosplay them when you're bored." After finishing speaking, Nan Shishu turned his head and whispered to Xiaowen, "How much are these sunglasses?" Xiaowen. 30, South Forget Book. Link on 29.9. "Hey." Xiaowen stopped Nan Shishu and asked, "Why are you selling sunglasses for 29.9 for 30 yuan? You don't understand that. Although 29.9 and 30 are only 1 cent different, they give people a different feeling. 29.9 is cheaper, 30 is slightly more expensive. These are all the experiences I have gained after countless tricks. Those things like 9, 19, 9, and 29. 9 look cheap and seem like they are for free. After a meal of buying, I found 500 when I checked out. This is the same trick." South Forget Book was imparting his own ideas in a rather old-fashioned way. After listening, Xiaowen seemed to understand but did not stop South Forget Book. As soon as the link was hung, it was taken down, and Nan Forget Book quickly switched to the next product while taking advantage of this enthusiasm. "This is a famous brand slipper with 18 hands that I want to rank second on the list. It used to be contested by various fake socialites and was in high demand. Now it's on the link at 9.9. This is a cold and sour toothpaste that can also be used on sensitive skin, and there are no counterfeit products in real pirated versions. Link on 9.9. Unpacked, unpaid, looking forward to receiving the goods. We are ghosts and don't need to brush our teeth. Why by this the white eyes of Nan Forget Book have already been sent to the ghost who sent these 2 barrage messages through the internet cable. Even ghosts need to brush their teeth, why don't they love cleanliness so much? Hurry up and buy them back to brush, otherwise I'll stand by your bedside at night. And there's the one who hopes to be given away for free. It's best for you to stand guard with your eyes turned when you sleep. There's no toothpaste given away for free, but it's enough to manage your big mouth. The live streaming sales of Nan Forget book featured sharp and interesting movements and explanations. The ghosts in the live streaming room had never seen this kind of live streaming method before and found it very interesting. The enthusiasm for purchasing was also stimulated, but in just a few hours, the inventory that had been squeezed for several months was sold clean. After the live broadcast ended, Lin looked at the amazing transaction volume on the homepage and almost knelt down to Nan Forget book, saying, "You're really amazing. I didn't expect the effect to be so amazing." Even Nanjieshu felt a bit confused. "Oh, by the way, is it true that you forgot to write about your experiences? Are you really so miserable? How are you planning to seek revenge? Tell me quickly." Xiaowen was still thinking about this matter, and as soon as he finished his work, he quickly came over to inquire. After listening to it, Nan Shishu felt that Xiaowen was so silly and cute. "Of course it's fake. You made it up to deceive them. How could you really believe it?" Xiaowen stared blankly and said, "Fake. How could you make it so smooth? That's not forced by life." Didi. The sudden beep from the phone interrupted their conversation. Nan forgot to pick up the book and found that it was a credit value reminder from the exposure system. Thanks to the commission from this live streaming sales, Nan Forget book earned 3,000 merit points, which is 3 times higher than the one who completed the task. "Forget the book, you're really amazing." Wang Luoxin took advantage of her position as the leader of Nan Forget the book and also earned a lot. This was the first time she had gained so much merit by selling goods, and even her tone of speaking to Nan Forget the book was full of admiration. Nanjieshu felt embarrassed while receiving praise from the others, thinking to herself. The live streaming salesperson earned so much higher merit than the one who completed the task. She decided not to do the exposure task and focus on selling the goods. This way, the speed of completing the reincarnation identity exchange will be much faster. So she pondered the words and phrases and asked Wang Luoxin, "Sister Xian, what do I need to do if I want to switch functional departments? For example, I want to switch from the exposure department to live streaming sales." "I can't change it." Wang Luoxin understood the meaning behind Nan Forget book's words. After all, she earns more in live streaming sales than in exposure. It's normal to want to change, but the rules do not allow it. There are rules in the underworld. Functional departments only have one chance to choose, and they cannot be changed afterwards. If you want to earn more, you can only help live streaming when you don't perform exposure tasks. Upon hearing Wang Luoxin's words, Nan Shishu's face immediately turned bitter. "Isn't this a trap? If you deceive someone into a position, they won't be allowed to switch or run away. When I was brought into work, no one told me these rules. The capitalists in the world are generally black. The same goes for the underworld." But she also dared not say these words in front of Wang Luoxin and other people, and could only secretly roast. Wang Luoxin noticed Nan Shishu's displeasure and sighed, patting her shoulder. "Get used to it slowly, there are still many things like this," she said. South Forget book expresses not wanting to get used to it. Wang Luoxin took her to the department office, intending to go back and rest. In order to facilitate the exposure of negative information in the live broadcast department, the local government has specially placed single rooms behind each person's workstation. There is a door behind the workstation, which corresponds to each person's one bedroom, one living room small dormitory. It is quite humane and conscientious. But this humanized arrangement led to their live broadcast exposure department being a small building, which was particularly abrupt in this empty and gloomy underworld surrounded by the 10-square Yenluo Hall. The two of them had just walked to the lobby on the first floor, and a bright and beautiful woman with a long black head and a white shirt and black trousers met. The woman smiled when she saw Wang Luoxin and said in a gentle and powerful voice, "Luoxin, I just wanted to find you." "What's wrong?" Wang Luoxin stopped in her tracks and responded with a smile, while the nearby Nan Forget book also stood still. The beautiful woman walked up to them in 3 or 2 steps without answering, but turned her eyes to look at Nan Shirshu with a strange expression in her eyes. Is this the new one from your group? End of this chapter.